Welcome back to Live Arena, folks. This episode of Live Arena was brought to you by 80s Nostalgia. What do you think about the champions they brought in? They brought in He-Man, put him in the Sacred Order. Anybody out there old enough to remember He-Man? Do 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 do. Under a Mattel license. This is interesting that you can see the license written under the champions. I wonder if they're only even allowed to like have the champions in the game for that long. And of course they've got Skeletor. Everybody can get Skeletor. He's a login champion. This is pretty awesome. Can't wait to see the reviews on him. I also love to hear what you guys think of He-Man and Skeletor. But this is a good opportunity for anybody who needs a 5-star blessing, because the 5-star blessing will basically be free. Anyway, I'm gonna ramble, but I'm gonna start the live arena. That's why we're here, right? For live arena fights and rambles with Gavin Masters. Gavin Masters live ramble and arena sometimes fights. So my initial thoughts on He-Man is he looks like he's probably going to be about as good as Xena, which is fitting because she was another paywalled champion. So we're starting with a 6-star polymorph on Armands. So I'm not gonna go all out Volcanoes this time. I think I'm going to try to mix it up and sometimes take my favorite team, which would include Armands, of course. But I have a substitute. I think my substitute is going to be these two. In fact, 90% of arena fights seem to start with these three getting picked. So that's who's getting picked. So yeah, my assessment of He-Man, about as good as Xena. My assessment of Skeletor, he's probably going to be pretty mid. That's my assessment of Skeletor. He's going to be good for newer players because he's a good way of getting a guaranteed 5-star blessing, which means if you want somebody that's got Brimstone, like a really good Brimstone, you could use him. But that'd be about as good as, say, any other free champion that they introduced where you got the 5-star blessing. So I want to try to match their speed. I want to try to go first if possible. So I'm going to bring my fastest champion. She's at 401 speed. We'll see if I get to go first. And I guess I want Phenax. I have to have some nukers. I probably want to still bring Mortu Macabre. Anytime my opponent happens to pick Lady Mikage, my substitution is Father Pedrig. Basically, I mean, he's not exactly like her, but he has the ally attack like she does. He's got a 6-star polymorph blessing, which is important if you're dealing with Armands. It's probably the best counter to Armands. Best counter to Volcanoes as well. Best counter to any debuffer, really. And I recently acquired a 6-star blessing for Martyr. I'm not seeing her here. Maybe she's still in the vault. I feel like she's not, though. I feel like I took her out. And if I see this bomber, I definitely want to go Mortu Macabre because I built him with a lot of resistance. And I just need to make sure they don't have too much increased accuracy. And of course, they've got 2 different champions that have increased accuracy. So maybe this isn't going to work. I don't have a lot of time to think of anything else, though. So I'm going to still go with it. And I'm going to have to eliminate somebody. I guess it probably has to be Armands. I think he's just going to be too difficult to deal with. If we get to go first, a lot of this isn't going to matter. But if we don't get to go first, that's when we're kind of in trouble. And you know what? Even if I do get to go first, this is the problem with picking only Lady Mikage. Maybe I should have picked Patty instead of Sun Wukong because she's too fast. She's actually too fast. What's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to get to go first, and then I'm going to get cut in on before the rest of my team can go. But we'll see what happens. So I do get the first shot. I could try to use this to leverage a second team because there is a lot of turn meter manipulation that comes from Eastrid. I wish it was a bit more though. Like Arbiter has the 30% turn meter boost, Eastrid just has a 15%. And she does get that free turn that boosts into another 15% turn meter control, but I think that really just introduces more RNG to everything. And I've already got a bomb on Mortu Macabre. That's no bueno. Who do I want to take out? Well, somebody. Oh, not even. Well, I'm not really sure who I want to go for now. I guess I really do want to take her out first. Hopefully I can swing around and get Sun Wukong back in time to nuke everybody out. Darn, I've got the decrease attack on now. All right, this is it. Probably not going to be enough damage, but I'm going to go for it. Nope. Not even by half. All right, good game, Mahonic. Or whatever your name is. So I get to pick first. I'm going to go with Armand's. They're taking Lady Mikage, so that means I can go for Patty. Makes perfect sense. And I will try to go first. Also, if they have Marius, I figure it's just as well that I don't have Lady Mikage because the transformation just becomes a liability. And they've got the king and the queen. So I'm gonna go for my usual two. A lot of interesting updates coming to the game too, eh? We could talk about those while I'm sitting here waiting. What do you guys think of the new clan boss? The I want to say not the Manticore, but the it's like a Manticore. The Chimera. The Chimera boss. I don't know that much about it. I mean, I was passively watching the video. I mean, for me, I was more reacting to what they weren't doing than what they were. Um, Here, I'll go with the speed lead. They're introducing new types of gear to the game. Like we needed any more gear to deal with. I think the gear is already unmanageable now. So I'm not too enthused about them introducing a new type of gear for us to juggle with all the rest of the gear. It's too much. They should have given us more storage space for the gear. I say this a lot, but it's true. We need more storage space for the gear. They also haven't made any mention about what they're going to do about polymorph, which is a problem for a number of reasons. I think probably from a game dev perspective, the biggest problem with polymorph is just that it's oh man, which one do I want to go for first? I guess I'll go for Rhodos. It's buggy. Like so often, I'm in the arena, and somebody gets polymorphed, and then I get a delay, and then a champion might be standing in the wrong spot. It's weird. It's weird that they haven't fixed that. And so they're introducing new stuff that you just know they haven't properly tested yet, which is just another it's just another weird thing. I mean this is all part of why I'm on my way out of the game. That plan is still holding, by the way. I am still leaving the game by the new year. So I've given myself about a month left to make arrangements for a clan succession. All my top brass is basically already gone. The top brass, as soon as they heard about me leaving, they just left themselves. Okay, I'm going to take out him first. So now I have to figure out who is going to be the new clan leader when I go. I do want to nominate somebody. I do have someone in mind still, a fairly loyal player who's been with us since basically the beginning. And at this point, I think my main clan is actually done for, and I'm going to move everybody into the second tier clan that we've got. Because at this point, it's stronger. Its numbers are still better. I think my main clan is down to about 19 members now. All right. I'm going to go with Armand's. He's probably going to get banned anyway, so who cares? So they've got Lady Mikage, and they've got Harima. Harima, I'm probably going to ban anyway, especially if she's got a 6-star polymorph. So what I'll do is I'll take Padraig. I'll take my speed lead. And I'm going to take Fenax, and I'm going to take Mortu Macabre. Martyr's right here. I don't know why I couldn't see her before. Martyr's right here. If I need another 6-star polymorph champion, although I don't see a lot of debuffs coming from them. She's got the debuffs. I'm not really seeing that many others. So I'll take these two. I'd really like to ban that Taras too, but I think it has to be Harima, especially if I'm going to commit to Mortu Macabre. Harima with a 6-star polymorph is basically the counter to even Volcanoes. Like last time, I don't remember if we actually took a Harima in the live arena fight, because I think usually I still ban her. But in Classic Arena and Tag Team Arena, I'm still willing to take Volcanoes against Harima. The one thing I'm not willing to go against is a 6-star polymorph. So Harima with the 6-star polymorph is basically the perfect counter to probably everything. And I just realized I was delaying on who I was supposed to ban, but I picked the right ban. See, I'm paying attention. So I'm taking my speed aura. I'm hoping I go first, but this is why I bring Mortu Macabre. If I don't get to go first... Oh, even if I go first, they're all behind Stone Skins. So I'm going to speed boost. I'm going to maybe hit him. The ally attack doesn't really help me at this point, does it? And I've already got increased speed up on everybody. It's kind of redundant. So I guess I'll just burn a move. So at this point, I may as well attack her. Down she goes. Just slaughtered straight through the polymorph. Much as I hate polymorph, I know I can count on Fenax to just kill straight through it. But yeah, polymorph is too overpowered, and it's too buggy. Man, this is rough. Okay, I'll do this. I'll wait for an opportunity. I really just want to take out that Taras before I lose my Stone Skin. So we got to take lots of attacks. And Taras needs to not be invisible, but he's going to be invisible as long as nobody else has taken any damage. Or... Man. I think I whiffed it. I think we're dead. Oh, yeah. Well, good game, Gutsman. Be nice to pull in Volcanoes at some point, though. You do know I love that Volcanoes. And I think he belongs in every live arena session somewhere. Of course, he might be the one that gets banned. So we got that new boss. We got the new resources. Is it enough to keep people interested? We got He-Man and Skeletor all introduced at the same time. They've got the new champions they've introduced. You got Lady Claus. And others. I can't remember if they mentioned any of the others by name, but I guess Lady Claus is probably going to be the Christmas fusion, or she's going to be some sort of Christmas rush champion. Unclear. I'm wondering, are they going to use this as an opportunity to update Sir Nicholas? Does Sir Nicholas need an update? I mean, he's already pretty good, but you don't see him much. Although maybe part of why you don't see Sir Nicholas very much is because he is a Void Legendary. Maybe a lot of people just don't have him. All right, he's bringing in Armands. Maybe I'm going to go for my Demon Team. I'll start with these two demons. This gives me an opportunity to pivot, so I maintain the ability to pivot. I maintain flexibility. I'm loving this name. It looks kind of like a crazed mud crab. So he's got the king and the queen. I think that's pretty conducive to me using these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my demons. My last guy could be Wither, could be Candy, could be Kymar, could even be Cecilia or Drexthar, just in case I feel like I need more flames. At this point, now that my opponent can see I'm bringing Volcanoes, if he plans on letting me keep Volcanoes, he probably doesn't want to bring too many buffers. If he brings a number of buffers, that's probably a sign that he plans on just banning Volcanoes. So there's a lot of buffs on him. She brings some buffs. There's a 6-star polymorph on him, meaning I probably have to ban him. For the sake of not being stuck with just one nuker, and especially if it's Mortu Macabre, it could be very awkward, so I'm going to bring another nuker. That's how I have to handle it. And I have to get rid of Taras. I think he's the biggest threat, even if I kept Volcanoes, I think he's the biggest threat. But the point's been made. 6-star polymorph, plus he's Taras. So, I need speed, I guess. I mean, the defense could be handy as well. But I'll stick with the speed. I'm already disappointed that I don't get to use Volcanoes this time. That's part of why I don't like trying this paradigm, because usually he just gets banned. Great in Classic though, and great in Tag Team Arena too. Maybe I'll do a Tag Team Arena video with my 3 favorite teams. I'm starting to like Tag Team Arena a little bit more now that I'm getting more used to having teams that I can rotate through. Okay, well, it's down to just more to Macabre. Does he have what it takes? Well, I'd want to start with taking out the king, but that's not going to work. So I'm going to start by taking out Marius. I guess it's got to be Marius. And basically, I might as well full auto and just aim at the king. As soon as Mortu gets another turn, I need peril and it needs to take out the king, or I'm dead. So it makes this very simple. Oh no, I've been polymorphed. Ugh. So that's like a loss right there. Foiled by the polymorph again. And it's times like these where I'm thinking, okay, so counter to polymorph, as long as it's not a 6-star polymorph. And come to think of it, Armands' polymorph is not the same thing. So that is always dependent on Armands' accuracy. So with Mortu Macabre, do I want to try that again, or do I want to just take Armands? I'll just take Armands. This way I don't have to deal with an enemy Armands. But with Mortu Macabre, what I'm thinking is I'd like more resistance. But anytime I look, it's pretty difficult to build, and my best resistance is built onto volcanoes, and I don't want to move that off volcanoes. So we got a Judge Dredd wannabe here. I am the law. And he's going for speed. Well, so am I. So I'm going to take Lady Mikage. I'm going to take Eastrid. I'm going to take my 2 nukers. Nuker number 1, nuker number 2. This team actually looks not very meta. I'm somehow less worried about it. This looks like a fresher account that I'm dealing with. So this is Basilius Rowanus, I think. Or is it the other one? Is this the Royal Huntsman? Either way, I'm expecting him to be a nuker. We may also have to deal with this guy. I'm not really sure who I want to ban. I guess I've made my choice. I'll take the Speed Aura. I suppose I could even have gone with Madame Cerie. Or Madame Ceres. I'm still not sure if it's Madame Cerie or Madame Ceres. If it's supposed to have like a French pronunciation of the whole thing or not. I'm going to do an ally attack against the nuker. I think that basically means I win. So, good game, Judge Dredd. Oh, is that my first victory of the day? Out of 5 fights? That's a little humiliating, isn't it? So, I gotta do 5 more. I kind of like getting 5 victories in a day just so I can get that mystery chest, but I realized you only get 1 legendary tome per... Oh, you know what? I really want to go for the demons again. I'm going to start with Duchess. You only get 1 legendary book per month, and once I found that out, it kind of took the wind out of my sails. It took away the ambition to just get it every day, because it's not a substitute source for books, not really, not when you consider that. Here, I'll take these 2. Not when you consider that you can only get 1 a month. I mean, that's basically just like the advanced missions, quests, the advanced daily quests, where you do that for an entire month and you get 1 legendary book. So the game is still making it very hard for us to get legendary books. They've known about this problem for years, but they do it on purpose because this game's reason for being is to take our money or our time, which is why I have to quit. You know what though? I feel like I don't say this enough because I'm always ragging on the game for being motivated by the wrong things. I really like Live Arena. I really like these champions, particularly Volcanoes. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Volcanoes. Just Plarium 12 out of 10, maybe even 15 out of 10 for Volcanoes. Like he's just amazing. Um, Maybe 11 out of 10 for Duchess. Helicath, maybe also 11 out of 10. Like just great champions. Mortu Macabre, 13 out of 10. Who else is like a more than 10 out of 10? Do I need her? Let's bring her just in case. This could work. I'm going to bring Wither. Wither, 10 out of 10. 10.5 out of 10. I think Wither is still really good. Maybe I just want a better blessing for Wither. She's one of my 3 selections in the blessing summoning portal thingy. I think right now it's it's not Helicath anymore because I got 4 stars. So Helicath is actually doing more damage now. He's got more defense now. My Helicath is better. I forgot to mention that. It's not like he's much better, but he's a little bit better. I'm even thinking of changing up this blessing to reflect that. I think I want to get rid of that Rhodos. I think he maybe scares me the most. Yeah, I'm happy getting rid of Rhodos. Oh, you know what? I think I made a mistake. I should have got rid of one of these two because now he's got an increased accuracy and an Armand's. That's gonna create absolute havoc. Unless he buffs himself to death. Because I do get to keep Volcanoes. He banned my Helicath, which is a smart ban. Right? Because if Helicath gets his block damage on either of these two, on either Mortu Macabre or Volcanoes, they become really difficult to deal with because they're slow. And under block damage, they're just not going to die for 2 turns. And that just about guarantees that I can wipe them out, especially with Volcanoes. So thank you, Red, for letting me keep Volcanoes. Even if I lose, I'm going to enjoy this fight because that's how much I like Volcanoes. I feel like I half interrupted my thought. What I wanted to say is I really enjoy the arena portion of this game. It'd be nice if it was a little more fair than it is. I feel like it's got to be a little unfair in terms of people building up their accounts, right? You need to have some sort of incentive to make your account stronger and stronger. But it is fun to come in and try to outsmart one another. It's more fun when the matchups are reasonably fair, and that's the other good thing that Plarium does, is it's got good matchups. You're always pushing to get stronger opponents, but when they get too strong, they beat you, and you get knocked back down, and then you have fair fights. Maybe you win some. Maybe you get knocked down until you get to wipe the walls with somebody that's a lesser player than you. And then you get to work your way back up until it's a fair fight again. But you're guaranteed a fair fight every now and again, and that's cool. But I really do love the arena. Most of the rest of this game is a huge time sink. And so that's the consideration. When I'm thinking about leaving, my consideration is my time. I have no control over my time. I was thinking, I'd like to maybe just log in, collect the login bonus, do the clan boss, maybe just do a couple of fights. Just a couple of fights. Just to remind myself of why I love this game. But I know that when I do that, I'm going to get sucked into sinking more time. It's too often I find I meant to just play for a little bit, and then suddenly I've spent 2 hours trying to re-gear somebody. Now that's another thing. It shouldn't take 2 hours to re-gear someone. But every time I re-gear somebody, it throws off the speed tune of like all of my teams. Or if I'm taking one piece of gear off 6 different champions, it gets to be a lot. So I'm going to take Armands. Armands is, of course, another sign, right? This is another sign of there being trouble with this game. The fact that people will just take Armands first without thinking all the time because he's that much more powerful than everybody else. But I've gone on a lot about Armands. So I won't beat that horse to death. That horse has already died. Gavin, leave that horse alone. Who am I banning? He's got the Ultimate Death Knight and Rhodos. This is an extremely difficult pair to deal with. Like often you want to counter the Rhodos with the Ultimate Death Knight. That's why it's smart to make sure you take them together, or you take the Ultimate Death Knight first if you plan on taking Rhodos. I think I'm already committed to this paradigm because I at least know how this team will work. That means I'm probably banning the Rhodos. Probably. Definitely. I'm banning the Rhodos. There's no increased accuracy. If his bomber gets to go first, I think my Mortu can resist him. And the reason I think that isn't just that I've got a lot of resistance and that I think my opponent's not going to be strong. I think he is going to be strong. But in order to build a strong bomber, you need a lot of accuracy and you need a lot of attack to make sure those bombs actually hit hard. And I figure the way most people will build them, he might have about 500 accuracy. Anyway, let's see if I can take him out now. Oh yeah. I win Vega. Good game though. Always enjoy a nice rapid victory. And that's also why I love the I don't know what to call the team. I'll call it my fast Fenax team. Because the fast Fenax team usually drives the home pretty quickly. And it doesn't have to be Fenax. There are all kinds of champions that can kill, but I think Fenax is the only epic in the game that can kill on his A1 like that. Of course, there's that new champion they introduced this week as well. There's the Faction Unity champion. There was a 15x for him just up until yesterday. I did not bother trying to pull for him. I figured this is probably the only Faction Unity champ I will ever own, and I'm okay with that. Because, quite frankly, Demons is the only faction that I think is ever going to be that good for me. But the new Faction Unity champ for Undead, he just doesn't die. Like the dead don't die when you've got that guy. Do I dare? You know what? I dare. I'm gonna go for the demons this time. I'm gonna go for the demons. I'm gonna see if it can work. He does have a 4,700 rating, so I'm not hugely optimistic about this, but I do love using my demons. But Armands dominates the net meta a little too much. Sorry, Dead Horse, I'm beating you again. But the fact that you see him first, and also the fact that Polymorph needs to be fixed, and that's the thing, is you got Armands, you got Sun Wukong. They both need to be... I mean, they're both tied to Polymorph, right? So if you nerf Polymorph, you're kind of also just passively nerfing them. It wouldn't really be enough of a nerf to Armands. And I don't think Sun Wukong needs to be nerfed. He's like king of the meta. I think he still doesn't need to be nerfed. I think he's balanced. Armands is not, and Armands is clearly not balanced, and that's why he's always first. So let's see. I want at least these two, because I think the biggest problem with Armands is actually his area effect attack, where he stuns everybody, steals their turn meter, so he's getting their turn meter as well as depleting theirs, as well as stunning them. It's just that's a lot right there. That's way more powerful than anybody else's moves in the game. There's some really powerful champions out there with really powerful moves, and that just beats them all. It's like stealing 3.5 turns. It's crazy. And then he goes straight into being able to sheep somebody and then lower their cooldowns, which is like stealing another 2 or 3 turns from somebody. And I don't know. Here, take him. I'm most worried about him killing straight through my stone skin, so I think it's got to be him. There's a lot of scary nukers here. And I'm losing more to Macabre, which is super interesting. Do you know something about me, MC Tree? Maybe you do. Maybe you know that I use a lot of more to Macabre. Maybe he's just worried about the block revive, and he wants... Of course, if he was worried about the block revive, he really should be eliminating Volcanoes. So thank you for letting me keep Volcanoes. I have a feeling that you're going to do better than me in this fight, but I still appreciate that I get to keep Volcanoes because he's fun to use. So, almost buffed himself to death right there. How much accuracy do you have? Well, he's going for the stun first. I'm impressed that Candy didn't get stunned. That was lucky, I guess. I mean, it was a weak hit. There are going to be weak hits. I figure, you know what? I'll probably have to revive him right now. I think I spoke too soon. I think he's going to die. I think they're just all going to burn to death. I guess MC Tree, you really should not have let me keep Volcanoes. Or he should have brought 6-star Polymorph. That's the other obvious way to just completely mess up Volcanoes. And there's no defense against the 6-star Polymorph. I guess unless you count Pinpoint, but I don't want to put him in Pinpoint. Here, let's put him out of his misery. So good game. So that's 4 victories. I just need one more and I get my chest. So he's bringing Armands. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to bring... Now I'm still thinking about bringing my demons. I'm going to bring the demons. I might pivot if I see too much hostility towards a Volcanoes team. And that's why I bring these two first. They're just going to be good everywhere. Like, Mortu Macabre is extremely good against Marius, because Marius can't avoid hitting him. So I am going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to bring my demons. And Candy's been working out, so I think he's going to be the last guy, although I do like the idea of bringing Wither. Does anybody have increased accuracy? Yes. Yes, they do. Marius has increased accuracy. So I think if I ban Marius, or maybe I should just ban Armands. Yeah, that's probably the ticket. I'm just going to ban Armands. Biggest problem. I'll take the increased accuracy anyway. Do I want the speed? And I said increase accuracy. Obviously, I meant resistance. I'll take the extra resistance because I think I'll still need it. He does have the freeze ogre, whatever his name is. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, it's gone. But anyway, this guy has the ability to just lift all my buffs and freeze everyone. So as the most resistance I have, you know what? I'm gonna have a lot of trouble resisting anything because he's got the increased accuracy. He didn't even need it, and he lifted the resistance off my poor Mortu Macabre. Do I go for the revive now, or do I just try to block debuffs? You know what? I'm gonna veil block debuffs. It's just as well. So I got to go for the revive now. I don't think we're gonna make it. There's been a little too much hate on our team. Yeah, I don't think we got it. So, good game, Gwynbleed. Whenever I am one win away from getting that treasure box, I'm often too tempted to just buy in and do 5 more fights. I might do that this time. There is time. I think we've got an hour and 7 minutes before the session ends. But hopefully, we'll pray for a miracle here. I'm going to go for Armand's. Just try to go for my best team. I think in Live Arena, really, the Armand's Fenax team is better than any combination of demons. I mean, unless I happen to be able to keep Volcanoes. Then it's the best, but there's no way to make sure I keep him. That's the unfortunate thing. So I'm going to take these two. I'm basically getting everything that I want. He's got a 5-star polymorph on Arbaeus. I'll take Fenax. I'll take Mortu. And finally, I might just want to get rid of Siffy so that I can go quickly. A lot of these champions can be trouble, but I think, you know what, if I'm faster than them, I don't think there's a lot they can do. So I'm going to go for the speed aura off Armand's. It's the same as the one on Eastrid, so it doesn't actually matter which one I pick. Eastrid will be going first, I hope. That's my plan. Nope, it's Arbaeus. Wow. That must be a fast Arbaeus. Well over 400 speed. Alright, well, I will speed boost. I will speed drop. I think the most important champion to take out is probably him. This guy does scare me a heck of a lot, though. But one of the considerations was he didn't have any debuffs on him, so I wasn't gonna be able to get the double shot. So I can take control of those two. But we just do the block debuffs thing. Block buffs, I mean. Not block debuffs. Come on, wake up, Gavin. So let's... Who do I want to take out? I might even be able to take out the Groot. Oh yeah. All right, good game, Ursh. There's just no way because he's gonna basically constantly hit Mortu Macabre. He's gonna get his peril, and that's it. Good game. So I get my chest. What is it today? It's... I mean, was that worth pushing for the chest? I don't know. Only time will tell. Anyway, I think I got 5 and 5. This is about average. I'd say this was a good day. This was a good session. I'm probably going to do one episode per week at this point, at this rate. I think it's good. Friday mornings, I tend to have a lot of time. So I'll probably do a live arena fight every Friday from now until the end of the year. So that gives me a sense of when my last video is going to be. That gives you a sense of maybe when at least my last live arena video is going to be. I don't know at this point if I'm going to bother getting into the whole everything I love about Raid, everything I hate about Raid, and why I'm leaving Raid. Those are probably 3 different videos anyway. But I tend to talk about all these things anyway. So you've been following along, you already know. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. See you on the next video. Take care of yourselves.